is Wrestling Reverb. And now your host, Josh Robinson.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Wrestling Reverb. We have got a lot of ground to cover. What an incredible SummerSlam it was. So much to talk about over the course of, if you include the kickoff, it was pretty much a 6 and a tiny little bit hour show. I absolutely love this SummerSlam. I'll get more into my overall thoughts later, but what I'm kind of doing with this one, just so we are, quite a bit of time removed from SummerSlam. We're about 9 hours removed. So just to keep my memory fresh, I've got SummerSlam playing in the background. So if you hear any background noise, it's just SummerSlam playing on the network. So I can kind of get my feel and just refresh my mind. It's going to be kind of skipping through and stuff like that. As we kind of begin, what a way! The kickoff was what it was. We had the Revival just about beat the B team, but the B team stealing the win away again with a roll up, and the Cruiserweight title was defended. Cedric Alexander with a roll up retained his championship, and Zelina Vega and Andrea Cien Almas defeated Rusev and Lana when Zelina defeated Lana with a roll-up. All roll-up, fast flash finishes for the kickoff. The kickoff is what it is. It was what it was. Nothing bad, nothing amazing. You know how it is. But getting into the main card, there was no better match to open the show with than Seth and Dolph. We know the standard that these two have when it comes to in-ring performance. These two obviously click. These two are great individuals. They create magic in the ring. This was another one of their classic Seth-Dolph matches, with the addition of Dean Ambrose to kind of eliminate the Drew McIntyre factor. It was perfect. We knew this was going to be a fun match. I said on my prediction show, I'm pretty sure Seth was going to get the win on this one. I was correct, but I was not correct about Dean turning. I think that still comes. I just don't think, obviously, it didn't happen at SummerSlam. It didn't happen today. It comes later, but it builds more on it. It was a fantastic match. The spot where I'm just kind of getting up to now on that spot off the top rope, the reverse DDT, and then Seth picking him up for kind of a modified kind of whatever it was. What an incredible spot. There's not as many moments. Really, I'm actually watching it right now, and this is only the second time I've watched this. I've only watched SummerSlam once through, but just there's not many moments, oh my god, that is just makes you say holy shit, to the fact where it's like, oh my god, that was incredible. And just the kick out from Dolph and just the reaction from the audience. I mean, Brooklyn's always fun. I always love when they're in Brooklyn. It is my favorite city, but that was ridiculous. Watching it again now, it's just, wow, that was easily my favorite spot of this entire match. Something that we don't see very often on WWE programming is stuff like that. They're going into the replay now and just, wow, just slow motion, just the strength by Seth Rollins, the agility by Seth Rollins, the balls of Dolph Ziggler to take this spot, and we don't really expect anything less from Dolph, so I absolutely love that spot. That was, yeah, like I said, easily my favorite spot of this match. Something else I love of this match, as we're just going into the finish now, the finish of this match, it was one of my favorite finishes all night. With Dean and then Seth getting distracted, and Dean taking out Drew and whatever it was, and then Dolph going for the super kick, but Seth catches him with the super kick first, heads into the curb stomp, or the stomp, whatever they call it now. Great stuff. Seth won. Huge ovation in the Brooklyn audience. Huge ovation. I watched this pay-per-view with 3 other people, and huge ovation from all of us. Great way to kick off SummerSlam. I couldn't really ask for a better way. It was just a great match. We knew it was going to be great, like I said, and this just lived up to every kind of potential that they had, lived up to the hype. And yeah, just a great match. I'm excited to see where this goes. I think, obviously, Dolph gets his rematch. I think we go into kind of a 2-on-2 deal, and then I think Dean and Seth will fight each other. Going into, more towards, after Hell in a Cell, down the line. I think that's where we go. They're just doing the stomp now. Boom! It's done. Seth with the win. Like I said, huge ovation from Brooklyn. Everyone thrilled. Seth goes into his second reign. Lots of exciting stuff for the Intercontinental Championship in a spot that's meant to be in, a spot that it deserves to be in. Yeah. A fan of this whole match, this whole story. I love where it goes. I'm excited to see what happens. We always talk about we want more stuff that gets us excited for Raw, gets us excited to watch week to week. This is the kind of stuff to do it with. I feel like, all in all, SummerSlam has left us with that feeling. I know that, a lot of the time, majority of us are so disappointed with main roster pay-per-views that we aren't excited to watch week-to-week television, especially Raw. But this did nothing but just enhance all of our kind of feelings and just make us want to watch, and that's what it's all about. But yeah, great stuff. Couldn't be more happy with all of that happened. Moving along, we had a backstage interview. The Bella Twins are here at SummerSlam, and they've announced that they're going to be sitting ringside for Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss. Now, if you are an internet fan like I am, you've seen the apparent rumor going around that the main event of Evolution is Ronda Rousey taking on Nikki Bella. Now, for me, might get a little bit of heat on this, and I'm fine with that. I'm a Bella fan. I'm a Nikki Bella fan. I think these girls have come leaps and bounds, and they've tried and worked their asses off to get in the spot that they were in when they were, full-time active. But Nikki literally broke her neck, fought through that, come back, and broke her neck to a certain degree again. Clearly, wrestling is something she loves. Brie's the same. Brie loves the business. You can tell. It's exciting. So I'm okay with that. We'll see what unfolds and whether that rumor becomes, true. But I'm fine with all of that. I know some people are very sour on that. But yeah, moving on to our second match of the night. And of course, it's the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We go into, I've said this on the prediction show. I've said this on multiple podcast episodes. I'm just not the biggest tag team guy. That being said, momentum for both of these teams going into this match have been, pretty parallel. They both have very different forms of momentum, but momentum nonetheless. Bludgeon Brothers are kind of that unstoppable tandem. They run through, nearly figuratively and literally run through their opponents, and the New Day are more of that, positivity, kind of do the right thing kind of momentum, but nonetheless, momentum. The match was what it was. I will say about SummerSlam, I actually thoroughly enjoyed every single match, with the exception of maybe one, for this whole night. like I said, not biggest fan of tag team wrestling, but it was still a good match. I can still appreciate when it's good, and I can still, enjoy it. I still enjoy it. It's not my most excited thing. But this match was fine, as I'm just kind of skipping through. I liked the way it ended because it kind of sets up for, I think the New Day may be the one to beat the Bludgeons, but it just extends it a little further. It just wasn't the time, stuff like that. The Bludgeons do some incredible double teams. I love that powerbomb, double powerbomb kind of deal they do. I love that. New Day have great stuff. It was a fun match. Bludgeons, technically lose. They don't lose the titles due to a DQ. Sets up for further things. I'm happy with that. Moving along. We go into Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. Money in the Bank on the line. If Kevin won by any way, he would get the Money in the Bank contract. Now, out of all of the matches on this card, this is probably the one I enjoyed the least. Just because I see why they did it, but they just did it in a very weird kind of fashion. It was pretty much a squash. Braun kind of just squashing and running through Owens. It just builds Braun up. Does it hurt Owens? We'll see where it goes, over the next few weeks of Raw. But it is what it is. Like I said, out of everything, this is what I enjoyed the least. Braun goes over Kevin, like I said, in a squash, power slam, and we move on from that. And I guess that's the end of Kevin and Braun. Was what it was. I'm not going to harp on about it too much because it wasn't horrible. It was just, weirdly done. But it's just my kind of opinion. I know, being on Twitter and forums and stuff like that, some people were actually a real big fan of the way they did this, and some people were really quite against it. I just kind of float in the middle, more towards I'm more against it than for it, but it certainly, didn't piss me off or anything like that. It just I was just like, okay, that's fine. I see what they're going for with Braun. They have big plans for Braun. I'm not mad at that at all. Braun is incredibly over with the WWE fans, and, why not act on that? Why sour that with a back and forth match? I like the fact that at SummerSlam, not everything always has to be back and forth action. Sometimes we can have a few things, especially with a 4-hour show or a 6-hour show when you count the kickoff. You can't tire out a crowd, and the placement of all this was perfect. They set up all their big matches. They spaced them out and stuff like that. And I was a fan of it. I like how they did have some squashes. I just didn't think it was going to be this one. But it's fine. We'll move on to something that, obviously I was very, very excited about. The triple threat match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Carmella defends against Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Everyone knows how much I adore Becky Lynch. She is my favorite in the WWE right now. Everyone knows how hype I was for this story, and everyone knows how much I don't value Carmella. I just don't think she's so subpar in the ring for the Women's Evolution. I'm not going to go on about that too much because everyone knows my thoughts. But the match itself, I've said in the past that I thought it had the ability to steal the show. I still stand by that to a certain degree. Was it the best match of the night? I don't think it was. It certainly was a very, very good match. I thought it was very well done. Triple threats have abilities to be amazing. They also have an ability to go sour really fast. I thought they stick to what they knew. Sometimes you don't have to be so flashy and stuff like that just to, try different things. I get it. They did a very standard triple threat match. I love the stuff with Becky and Charlotte. Carmella held her own. It was an absolutely beautiful suicide dive from Carmella. Carmella kept in there. Becky was on fire. The crowd was for Becky. We're ready for Becky. Charlotte with that, she has incredible athleticism. I think Charlotte's one of the greatest female performers of all time. This match for me was the most hype that I was all night. I was so emotionally into this match. This was my main event. I don't care what anyone thinks. This was my main event. And these girls went out and put on a pretty damn good match. It was probably my favorite match of the night. Do I think it was the best? Like I said before, no, I don't think it was the best match of the night, but it was my favorite. There's a difference between favorite and best. And, this just had a little bit of everything. Everyone had their spots where they nearly won. Carmella with her spots, and Becky, and obviously Charlotte. And the finish of this match, I actually said to Ryan Madden, who comes on this podcast quite frequently, I said, I think this is going to be Disarmer, and then Charlotte's going to come in with the natural selection, and that's exactly what happened. I thought it was a brilliant finish. I thought the stuff with Charlotte and Becky during the match was fantastic, I thought. I'm just getting into the finish now with Charlotte, and I'm just gonna watch it over again because, like I said, I haven't watched it yet. I'm just gonna turn a little bit over. Yeah. So here's my thing. Before we get into what happened after the match, I need to give. I like I said before, Carmella held her own. I need to give a little bit more credit where it's due. Carmella not only held her own, but she really shined a lot in this match. I mean, Becky and Charlotte are obviously incredible in the ring, but Carmella held her up, and I'll give that to Carmella. We're just getting into the finish now. The crowd in this match for Becky Lynch is so ready, and I know that WWE know what they're doing. Now, I said on my prediction show, I think Charlotte's going to win. I'm just watching here we go with Charlotte now coming in, and boom, natural selection, holy shit. And Charlotte goes over, pins Becky, her best friend. I think the tea's definitely been spilt in this match, if we want to talk Becky and Charlotte kind of world. I was more than thrilled that Carmella lost this. The crowd reacted the way that I thought they were going to. It's not necessarily a hate on Charlotte. It's not necessarily a boo, but it's definitely mixed. Ready for Becky. And WWE know what they're doing. They knew we were ready for Becky. I think she's the most organically over baby face in the company, or one of the most organically over baby faces in the company. Which, for me, this whole situation, as we get into what transpires after, did the wrong woman turn? Maybe? But I'm very excited for what Becky Lynch can do as a heel. The beatdown after this match was, I thought, I'm a sucker for a good heel turn, and this was a fucking great heel turn. The crowd were receptive. The crowd were definitely not making it seem like Becky was the heel. There was a "You deserve it" chant that was directed towards Charlotte. Charlotte's done nothing wrong. There's really, it's just a Brooklyn crowd. We'll see how this is when it isn't in Brooklyn. We got TV in Brooklyn this week, but it's just, we'll see what happens after Brooklyn. They're still cheering this woman, because I definitely will be. I love Becky Lynch, but what a heel turn! I really dug this heel turn. Charlotte as a heel is just better. Becky is a very natural babyface, but at the same time, we've only seen Becky as a heel very briefly in NXT. She's just about to do it now. A beautiful slap. Bam! The crowd go absolutely nuts. My God, I was so into this. I like Charlotte. Of course, I wanted Becky to win more, but I really like Charlotte. As Becky holds up this championship, it's hers. You know what I mean? I'm so on the Becky Lynch train. This is where we need to go. This is what people like to kind of go on about how like they push the women's division and they're having great matches and that, you know, we're going towards evolution and there's no compelling stories. This is your story. Oh my God. And Becky has a lot of, no pun intended, has a lot of fire. You can see that she's angry. She's pissed. This is her spotlight that Charlotte stole. My God, like just beating the piss out of her. I love this. Just the crowd were just so responsive, and that's what I like the most. This is the compelling storyline. I'm hoping for a Hell in a Cell match. I'm hoping for Becky and Charlotte inside the cell. It deserves it. A good best friends storyline is always incredible. They do this best friends storyline better than Sasha and Bayley, and everyone knows how much of a fan of that I am. This is a better story. It's just, like I said, did the wrong woman turn? Well, only time can tell for that. But, like, I'm so excited. This is my main event storyline. And I could literally have a whole episode on this because this was my favorite moment of SummerSlam. It was an incredible SummerSlam moment. This is the kind of stuff that they'll play on packages, you know, a top 10 SummerSlam moments or whatever. This is included. For me, at least, I don't know about everyone else, and I don't know if even everyone else on the same page as me, but I thought this was fantastic work by both of them. Charlotte with the facial expressions and the sell of all this, and Becky with the fire that she had. I just think this is just the perfect story. I think we go to Hell in a Cell, hopefully inside the cell, and I think they're the SmackDown Women's Championship at Evolution. I think they can build to that, and I think that we've seen Charlotte and Becky in the past wrestle, and it's been incredible. We've seen Charlotte as the heel against Becky. We haven't seen this. So, to their credit, at least they're trying something different. Can Charlotte be the ultimate face against Becky? I don't know. But I'm excited to see where this goes. This is going to be a heavily talked about kind of deal on this podcast because I'm all for it as we head towards other things. But just what a great match with an even greater moment at the end. I'm excited for SmackDown this week. Just all in all to see that. I'm not going to go on too much more about it because I'll talk about it for another hour. I really could. We move on. The WWE Championship. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. If anyone followed TNA, they've clashed numerous times in the past, and every time it's been incredible. Now, I was highly critical of saying I didn't enjoy the family stuff being brought into this. I thought it was a little too cheesy, a little too soap opera-y, a little too corny. But I admit when I'm wrong, and anything I say, I feel at the time, but after watching this match, I'm so glad they included it. This rivalry has turned up the dial to 100 during this match. After this match, whatever it conspired in this kind of match, but I'm so excited for this rivalry. I think this goes inside the cell definitely. This is the feud that we've been waiting for AJ's title reign. He had his stuff with Shinsuke in that, and that was what it was. This is it. This is something that, man, I just really, really fucking enjoyed this match. This match itself was, like, I think this was fucking awesome. The who's your daddy kind of thing, or whatever Joe said, and the stuff with his daughter, that was so heartbreaking. I mean, his daughter, saying, like, why are you doing this? And his wife, Wendy, was there, and just, I can't say enough good stuff. There was literally nothing bad I could say about this match. Obviously, they clicked. We knew that they would. And it just, what a damn good wrestling match this was. This is what the WWE Championship is all about. This is why it kind of deserves to be higher in the card that it is. But the place, like I said, I love where this was placed just because it flowed with the pay-per-view so well, because it's such a long show. Just a round of applause for these two. I really just enjoyed the match, enjoyed the story, enjoyed everything that happened, and like I said with Seth and Becky and Charlotte, I'm excited to see where this goes. I want to watch SmackDown. I want to watch as we head towards Hell in a Cell and Super Showdown, and then, as we head towards later in the year. But round of applause for these two. Love the finish. Love the styles clash in there. I'm not even mad that it was a DQ. I thought it was perfect. It builds towards going inside Hell in a Cell, and that's where I hope we're going with this. It's personal enough to get there. Man, Joe's on another level of intensity. AJ Styles, when he's fired up, is on another level. Just fucking great stuff from these two. We'll move on to the next match. And I'm just skipping forward. I don't want to spend too much time on the stuff that I really desperately enjoyed, because I'll talk about that the whole time, and then we'll have no time for anything else. Just finding my spot here. Sorry, everyone. We had the Elias. We nearly had an Elias performance. His guitar broke, and he kind of had a little bit of a temper tantrum. It was fun stuff from Elias, as per usual. We had a backstage segment with the Miz and the B team, the former Miz Taraj. They said they're going to have their own reality show, Total Fellas, but with a B. So, Total Bellas. I thought it was funny. I haven't been the biggest fans of the B team. Obviously, we head into the most anticipated match in recent memory, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan. This was the longest match on the show at around 24 minutes. Didn't live up to the hype. It's always hard especially when something's been building for literally 8 years. We've been waiting, since the original NXT competition season for this match. Really, they've had a few matches in between there, of course, but this is the big money match, the big SummerSlam match. Did it live up to the hype? I think yes, it did. I love the finish of this match with Maurice giving Miz the brass knucks. There wasn't anything outstanding in this match. It was a fairly good match. I think this is the build for more. Could this go inside the cell? I think this is a match that could go inside the cell. Usually we only get, 2 or 3 cell matches, and I don't see them all being SmackDown matches inside the cell. But this is one that could definitely go in it. I thought it was great stuff. I'm excited to see where this goes. Again, I'm excited to watch SmackDown, because obviously this isn't done. Miz with his standard Miz stuff. Miz doesn't get enough credit for his stuff in the ring. Bryan is obviously very good in the ring. I was just happy with this match all in all. It did live up to the hype. It leaves me wanting more, which is always good in wrestling. It's not a definitive end to this. And we continue on, because there's really nothing better for these two to be doing right now than fighting each other. That's what the money is at the moment. That's what we want to see. So I'm glad. Great stuff. There was a spot that I really enjoyed in this match other than the finish. I'm trying to just find exactly what it was. I think it was just more so there was some really stiff chops and kicks from Bryan to Miz. Was that a little bit deliberate? Probably. I mean, I don't think they even, for the most part, even, shoot-wise, I don't think they get along too well. I don't think they hate each other as much as they do on screen, but I don't think they're the best of friends. I think there was a little roughness in there, which is good in wrestling. I think Bryan enjoys that. I think Miz, to a certain degree, enjoys that. But great stuff all around. Love the finish. Love to see where this goes. So, yeah, good stuff. Let's go on to the next match as I skip forward in the network. We have a Super Showdown promo. We go on to Constable Baron Corbin against Finn Balor. Now, obviously, as this was hyped, it was Finn versus Baron. But what a nice surprise to see the return of the Demon. It was a shock to me. I didn't think we were going to get the Demon. It's always nice to see the Demon. I love that the Demon is sparingly used. Some people seem to think it was wasted against someone like Baron Corbin, but I think it's just what this needed. It was kind of the match out of everything that kind of was just on the card. But if it was fucking cool. I love that Baron literally got no offense in on Finn. I love that the Demon was here. I love that he won the match in quite short time. All in all, I love the stuff. I love seeing the Demon. Keep the Demon use limited, and it stays special. How over was this? I mean, listening to the crowd now, it was so cool to see him because we don't see him very often. And a place like one of the big 4 pay-per-views of the year, second biggest pay-per-view of the year, SummerSlam. So why not have it now? Cool stuff. Loved what they did. It, kept SummerSlam moving at a nice pace without letting the crowd get too, worn out from everything, keeping something shorter than others, especially after going on since they went on after Daniel Bryan and The Miz. I thought it was perfect. So great stuff there from them. Skipping forward, of course, we had Brie talking to Daniel Bryan. We go in and he was just kind of angry and stuff like that. Brie was kind of giving him encouragement. We move on to the United States Championship match between Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura. I've been really into this feud with with Randy Orton, of course, involved. I was excited to see this match, which is not something that's usual for the United States Championship. I love Jeff Hardy. I love Shinsuke Nakamura. I think Jeff has looked better in the last few weeks than he's looked since his singles return. Since his return from the week before the draft. And since coming to SmackDown, I think he looks a lot better. He doesn't look so physically in pain, which is really nice. He doesn't look so tired and gassed. The match itself was good. I thought it was a fairly decent match. Jeff had some spots where he nearly won in there. Shinsuke had some great moments. I think we needed to obviously talk about the finish of this match. We know how Jeff Hardy is with his risk-taking. I'm actually literally at that point now. Shinsuke laying on the apron. Jeff Hardy, swanton bomb, and lands right on the apron. I physically felt that pain. Jeff does obviously things. He took it in the safest way possible, but man, that would hurt your lower back. Hardest part of the ring. Still, all in all, physical pain out of it. It looked fucking mint. The whole thing was great. I loved the finish. Kinshasa. Shinsuke Nakamura retains, as we kind of expected. And then, of course, Randy Orton comes out at the end. Looks like he's going to attack Jeff. Turns right around and leaves. Obviously, it wasn't his time to attack Jeff Hardy. Great stuff. Keen to see where this all goes. Keen for SmackDown. Loved it. Absolutely, really, really, really loved it. Of course, we go into our probably the two, biggest matches of the night, even if they weren't necessarily my 2 biggest matches. But of course, we have to talk about the Raw Women's Championship. Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss. A lot of anticipation going into this. Can Ronda do it? Can Bliss, keep up with Rousey? This is a big time money match. Could have headlined SummerSlam. If the Universal Championship wasn't on the card, I think this would have been the main event. Now we go into this. This match is literally 4 minutes long. Big reaction for Ronda. Alexa Bliss doing her normal, little bitchy self. there's a spot in this match where Alexa keeps running away, and Ronda just literally sits Indian style in the center of the ring and says, "Come on, come in the ring," and puts her in a headlock, gives that mean Rousey look, and it's the beginning of the end for Miss Bliss. We of course have the arm, and Bliss's arm almost inverted inside out. Great stuff. The Bellas are in the audience. Of course, I have to talk about Natty coming in with her dad's jacket from SummerSlam 1990. Big love to Natty. Great to see her. We go into the armbar now. Bliss instantly taps out. We got a new Raw Women's Champion. The match was short. The match was what it was. They kept it simple. They kept it very dominating. I didn't think they were going to do this to Bliss. I'm not mad. I think it's great. I think this is a start of a very long championship reign for Ronda Rousey. I think she holds this until Mania. I really do. I think as we build towards Evolution, she's the main event of that pay-per-view, and, you know, to a certain degree, she is the mainstream star of the division on both shows, so I'm glad Rousey won. The Bellas come in. We obviously talked about Nikki. Congratulations from Ronda to Ronda from the Bellas, and of course from Natalya. She's the Raw Women's Champion, and the thing I love the most about Ronda Rousey, other than her ring ability, she's naturally very good. There was some great Samoan drops in there too. She threw Bliss around. The thing, though, I love most about Ronda is that you can generally see she's really enjoying this business. She's really enjoying this. I'm a fan of Ronda. I think she's adapted to pro wrestling very well, and I'm just excited to see where she goes. Can she hold up that kind of reputation? Because, of course, Raw Women's Championship, we want compelling head-to-head matches. She had that with Nia. She kind of ran through Bliss. I think we eventually get Natty versus Ronda. I'm excited to see Ronda versus Nikki. I know some people aren't, but I am. I'm excited to see Ronda versus a lot of people, and she's the right person for this championship at the moment. I think it just elevates the Raw Women's Championship. It elevates the Raw Women's division. It elevates Evolution. I'm a fan. I really enjoyed this. Would I have liked to see Bliss a little bit more kind of get a little bit more offense in this match? Sure, but if it was fine, I know what they're doing. Ronda is the star. Also to note, heavy boos for the Bellas here in Brooklyn. It is what it is. I'm like I said before, I'm a Bella fan, so, but I know a lot of people aren't, especially Nikki, more so than Brie. But yeah, I love this. Rousey's the new champion. I'm excited to see Rousey on Raw. Like, I think that's been my kind of theme of this of this episode is I'm excited to see where everything goes. Big congratulations to Ronda Rousey as we move into the main event. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Once again, Universal Championship. I love the build of this story. I was excited to see what the crowd were doing, and WWE did the smartest thing they could do with bringing out Braun Strowman. You know, really kind of teasing that cash in, keeping the crowd on the edge of their seats for Braun. The match was simple. They kept it how they've kind of kept it. You know, back and forth at the start. Brock does a little bit of a beatdown. Then we go into the finishing sequence where the suicide dive. Well, he went for the spear and he kind of sidestepped him, and Roman hits Braun. Brock hits Braun. Braun's out of the equation. Roman comes in, spear, and finally, Roman Reigns defeats the Beast, Brock Lesnar. We have a brand new Universal Champion in Roman Reigns. We have stuff to really look forward to with Braun. He is going to be an angry monster come Raw, and Brock's kind of, I think Brock sticks around in a different kind of capacity. I don't think we'll see Brock in a WWE ring for quite some time. Roman, we now get the Universal Championship on TV every week. I'm glad about that. Roman is Roman. He got a very polarizing reaction, as he normally does. I'm excited. I really am. I'm not a Roman guy at all. But I'm just happy to have the Universal Championship to give some prestige to that and raise it. And it was incredible stuff. A great ending to SummerSlam. I was a fan of the entire show. I really can't complain about this show. I think it was the best main roster pay-per-view, at least of this year. If not, the only thing that I can really compare for other reasons is Royal Rumble. I thought Mania was good. I think this was better than Mania. It was literally one of the better pay-per-views we've seen in recent memory. Match of the night for me was Joe and AJ. I think that was the best match of the night, even with a DQ finish. I thought that was fantastic. My favorite match of the night was the Triple Threat Women's match for the SmackDown Women's title. The moment for me was Becky turning on Charlotte. I thought that was fantastic. Rousey winning the Women's Championship was a really great moment. Roman finally slaying the Beast. The Seth Dolph match was incredible. Just a great SummerSlam. I'm excited to see where Raw and SmackDown go as I head into the end of this. But I think we can all kind of at least agree that when pro wrestling is fun and it just makes it better for everyone, this was one of those shows where I just think it was generally conceived that it was fun. It was an entertaining show. Whether you agreed with some of the finishes or not, or, you know, not a Roman fan or a Ronda fan or whatever, I just thought this was a really good show. I'm glad to have watched this. I'm excited for wrestling. You know, wrestling has peaks and valleys, and I think we're in a peak at the moment. We head towards a lot of exciting stuff. Hell in a Cell will be fun. We go into the Super Showdown in Melbourne, and then we head into Evolution. We got a lot of things coming out with the Mae Young Classic. I just think it's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and just a lot of unpredictability happening at the moment, which is fun. That is something that doesn't happen in this day and age, and everyone complains about predictability. We got some unpredictable stuff happening. They did the best thing they could with the main event. I just think it was a great show. On that note, I just say thank you, SummerSlam, for a fun night. And we head in towards Raw and SmackDown. I'll see you guys next time for a Raw and SmackDown review. We'll see where the stories are heading after those shows. And I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Wrestling Breaker.